Stretching. Let's go. I just woke up less than 10 minutes ago. So, whatever warm up we're doing is going to be real warm up. My shoulders are all weird from hunched over in the pillow and stuff. Ooh, okay. Whew. Ugh. Let's get ready to do some warm up. Oh, if you have never been here before, we do a ton of hip mobility. All right. If that sounds fun, great, awesome. Stick around, and otherwise, let's begin because I can't have words right now. I woke up too recently. Let's go. Hip cars. We're lifting our knee up as high as we can, directly in front. We're trying to work those muscles in the hip, trying to get as high up into this knee raise thing as possible. All right. From the side, I want you to really, 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 really lift that knee up. All right. From here, we're gonna open up that hip. Wee! Open up nice and wide. And I want you to focus on doing two things. Trying to get your hip as wide open as you can, but also lifting that knee up. All right. Yours doesn't have to look like mine. HipCar is all about building mobility and strength at the same time by forcing your muscles to take you through that crazy range of motion. And I've been doing this live for like 500 plus days. So we're at different places of training. All right. From here, we're going to rotate our ankle. Bring the ankle up, 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 up. Bring the knee down, 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 down until your ankle is almost hidden behind your knee. Obviously, it's just from that angle, that perspective. Because over here, if I rotate, you'll see that the ankle is just horizontal with the knee, right? I want you to keep going. Bring that knee down, bring the 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 knee down, lift that ankle up, and ooh, when you start feeling a cramp in your hamstrings, you can stop. You can bring that leg down and back instead. When you bring it down and back, I want you to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, do the stretch right here in the hip flexor, all right? From the front, it looks a little bit like this. I know I did a whole bunch of spinning and stuff, and it's a little confusing right now. We're gonna do a couple facing you, a couple to the side, and you will get into it. Let's go. That's all the information you need to get started with the hip guards. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Bring that leg down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's three. Try to keep your hips more or less in the same spot. You're going to lean, you're going to move to help compensate and try to lift the leg. That's normal. But try to keep your hips relatively stable. The movement is coming from the difference between your hips and your knee. All right? Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's seven. Three more. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Woo! If your hips have started to feel a little looser, or just plain tired, those are relatively normal signs. Feel free to do a couple of hip circles, chill, do a little wiggle, do a little dance, help wake up those hips, and let's get ready to move on to the other side. All right, same thing, just the other side. High knee, lift that knee a little higher, lift the knee higher, lift the knee higher. Try your best. Bring that knee up, open it up, point that knee out to the side. Try to keep the hips in the same spot. All right, rotate the knee, bring the ankle up. Bring the ankle up some more. Bring the ankle up some more. Bring the ankle up some more. Bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings. Flex the glutes. Feel the stretch right here in the front of the hip. That's one. We're counting it. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. If you're struggling with balance, hold on to something. Usually, I like to do this in front of a wall so I can hold on to a wall. Like so. High knee. Open. Ankle up. down and back, that's 4 high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back, that's 5. 5 more, we're almost done here. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back, that's 6 high knee. Open, ankle up, oof, down and back, that's 7 high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back, that's 8 high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back, that's 9 high knee. Open, ankle up, down and back, that's 10. Oh. And I kind of lost balance at the end. It's okay, it's fine. Whew. Take a second, shake out your hips one more time. I'm gonna peek at the comments. I saw something come in a little earlier. John Luck says, ouch, oops, I accidentally sent an invite. Um, we'll see how that goes. And Cynthia says, I tell all my clients with hip pain to do these. Yeah, hip cars are awesome. A lot of hip pain comes from being weak, from not having control. And that's what hip cars do. You get mobility by forcing yourself to build strength in these crazy, crazy positions. Anyways, we're gonna move on into our reverse hip cars. All right, we're just gonna go backwards now. And it's gonna look like this. We're gonna start by bringing this leg down and back. Flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, feeling that stretch right here in the front of the hip. If you are at home, you're somehow super awake this morning, and you're going, and you're throwing your leg way far back, you're probably going a little too hard. When you do this, I don't want you to have a whole bunch of pressure here in the low back. I don't want your torso to be torquing like this. And the way to prevent that is one, don't lift your leg as crazy far high as you are seeing my leg go up. Right? Focus on just the basics, hamstrings, glutes, hip flexor, feeling that stretch right here, contracting some of these muscles nice and gentle. And then also keeping that core real tight, real strong, so that your back doesn't do a whole bunch of this. Right? If your core is nice and strong, your back should not be doing too much wiggling. All right, let's go reverse hip press. First move, bring that leg down and back. Next, we're going to lift that leg up to the side as high as we can. Again, it's horizontal, right? Then we're going to rotate. We're going to bring that knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring the ankle down, lift the knee up, and then we're going to finish by bringing the knee to the front. Technically, for all my regulars, you can get a little bit more range of motion. I usually focus on just getting to that knee up in front. Technically, you can keep going. You can bring that leg all the way over to the side and squish. If you want to add that in, go ahead and do it. I'm going to forget, but you should try to remember. All right, that is reverse hip cars. That's one. We're doing 10 of these. We'll count that first one. We got 9 left. Let's go back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I'm going to do the rest facing you, so it's easier to mirror. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle down, ankle up, knee. That's 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 5. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 6. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 7. Again, if you're struggling with balance, I'm just tired, so I'm taking a break to explain things. Stick your arms out, hold on to things, help yourself stay stable. What's important is that you're contracting the muscles. You're working on getting to these end ranges. And if you're balanced, it's going to be much easier to focus on the things we care about. Right? You don't have to struggle with balance if you don't want to. This is 9 and 10. Whew, that is reverse hip press. Whew, we got one last leg. If your legs are tired right now, it's okay. Do a little shake, do a little dance. Put that hip mobility to work. You earned it. Now, have fun with it. All right. One last leg. Let's go. Stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and tight. Remember, when we bring the leg back, we're flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes. We're not doing crazy kicks. All right. Let's go. Back. Ooh, off balance. Hamstrings, glutes, flexed. Feeling the stretch right here in the hip. Lift that leg to the side. Keep it horizontal to start. Then bring the knee down. Lift the ankle up. Bring the ankle down. Lift the knee up. Bring that knee forward. I am super off balance. My left leg is not cooperating with me today. Hold on. Let me get a little calf stretch. And focus, leg. Focus. All right, let's do this. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. I feel like I went a little bit fast, but that's 5. I'm going to slow it down. And as soon as I slowed it down, I started losing balance. Focus. Okay. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 6. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 8. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 9. One more. Come on. Flex that hamstring. Flex those glutes. Feel the stretch right here. Lift to the side. Lift, 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 lift. Rotate that leg. Bring the knee down. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee up. Lift a little higher. Bring that knee forward. Whew. That is 10 reverse hip curls in each direction, on each side. Lots of hip curls. Forward, back, reverse. You got me. Let's move on into our second warm-up exercise. Whew. We are going to get into something called elephant walks. What I want you to do is fold forward here at the hips, bring the belly button down towards the ground, and get into this L shape. If you are new to this position, you haven't trained it at all, and you're a little bit higher up, less of an L and more of a R, that's okay. All right? It's part of the process. From here, what I want you to do is focus on breathing. Inhale, exhale. On that exhale, I want you to try and chill. I want you to try to relax muscles in your back, and I want you to fold a little bit deeper. All right? When I say fold a little bit deeper, I mean like let your body do the work. I'm not saying using all of the muscles in your back to turn yourself into a little ball. That's not what we're doing. All right? Once you have taken some breaths, you've taken some time to chill, I want you to drop your arms so you can get a little bit lower into that stretch. Okay? As you hang out here, you should start feeling your hamstrings tighten up and get a little bit, no, uncomfortable, I guess, because it's a stretch. And what we're going to do is add a little bit of movement. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out to the other leg. We're going to switch our legs from side to side. It's going to look like we're trying to pretend to run in this crazy position while our belly buttons are coming down to the ground. All right? That's it. That's the whole thing. Switch and switch and switch. If your hamstrings are not feeling super tight, feeling super crazy yet, then imagine that you're trying to bring your belly button a little bit closer to the ground. And keep going. Whew. Does not have to be painful, but is unlikely to be uncomfortable. All right. If anything is painful, feel free to stop right away. You do not have to keep pushing. If it's just mildly uncomfortable because you're stretching your muscles, then that's normal. All right. Oh, right now you might be feeling it in your hamstrings, or you should be feeling it in your hamstrings. But you might also be feeling like a pulling sensation way up here in your butt. That is often because your hamstrings attach here at the bottom, behind and just below the knee, and they attach all the way up to the bottom of your pelvis. Right? And when you are folded forward like this, the bottom of your pelvis is actually right around here. So if you're feeling a stretch kind of in your butt right now, that is probably still your hamstrings. Whew, even though it feels like your butt. All right. Once you have done a couple of these, they're starting to feel a little bit easier. You're not feeling nearly as stretchy. It's time to make the stretch harder. Bring your belly button down just a little bit. Keep on bending that knee, folding forward, switching from side to side. 3 more. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that is our elephant walks. If you're just joining into the show for the first time, you're like, what the heck is going on? We do this live or a version of it every single day at 9 p.m. On the weekends, we have a bonus show, which is what you're at right now, at 9 a.m. We do 45 to 60 minutes of live hip mobility and side splits training. And we do this every day to practice number one quality consistency. All right. If you like side splits, if you need help with hip mobility, you need help staying consistent, then keep on coming back to the live. We do this every single day. You don't have to be here every single day. I show up every single day so that you know you can depend on and have somebody to be consistent with. All right. I just needed a break, and so I went on the tangent, but now I can't remember what the next stretch is. Third stretch, let's do this. We are moving on into some thoracic rotations. We're taking that position that we were starting in, right, with the elephant walk, where we're switching from side to side, where one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding our belly button down. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our spines. We're going to open up the chest and the back and do something like that. So what I want you to do is take the arm from the bent leg side. I want you to reach across to the shin of the straight leg. I want you to push against that shin. I want you to open up your chest. I want you to look at that hand, the other one, the one that is pointing up into the sky. Your neck is rotating. And I want you to inhale, exhale, and reach. Exhale. Reach over that shoulder. Woo! That is one rep on one side. We gotta do the other side to match it. All right. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. Reaching across the body. We're opening up that chest. Look at the hand. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. That is one rep. That's how we're starting. We're gonna do 5 in total. We got 4 more. Leg is bent. Leg is straight. Arm from the bent leg side is reaching across to the straight leg. We're pushing, we're opening, we're reaching, we're looking, and we're breathing. That is 2. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. Look at the hand. Neck is rotated. Inhale. Exhale. Ooh, I'm very stiff today. Okay. That's 2. We got 3 more. Take your time. I talk fast because I want people who come in for the first time to know what's happening. And I reiterate a whole bunch of times. That means you got plenty of time to chill, to breathe. I just have to do a lot of talking. My mouth just can't stop moving. So, you know, if you know what you're doing, you can ignore me. Cool? All right. Leg is bent, leg is straight, arm is bent, leg is straight. Open, open, open. Look at the hand, rotate the neck, breathe. And reach a little further. There we go. That's number 3. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open. Look at the hand. Rotate the neck. Breathe. Reach. All right. That is 3. We got 2 more. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open. Breathe. That's 4. And 4. Last time. Number 5. We got one leg bent, one leg straight. Our belly button is folding down towards the ground. Taking our arm from the bent leg side, reaching across the body to that straight leg. We're pushing off the shin and we're opening up that chest, rotating that spine. We're looking at the hand. The neck is rotating to look at the hand, and we're going to breathe. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That is number 5. Other side. Inhale, exhale, reach. That is our thoracic rotations. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit looser. It might feel a little intense right now because, most of the time you don't do very much of these shoulder looking things. You don't do very much rotation. The only time you rotate is probably checking your blind spot. But with cars the way they are these days with all the cameras, you probably don't do that either. So, hopefully, your back is feeling a little looser, but it might not be super comfortable right away. Take a couple seconds, do a little dance, do a little movement, work those hips that we've been warming up, work that spine you've been working up, do some body rolls. And my body rolls aren't very good. But we're going to move on to our 4th and final warm up exercise. It's going to get a little bit harder. It's going to get a little bit more challenging. I'm going to demonstrate the Cossack switch, and then we're going to pre-warm up our warm up. All right? It sounds crazy, I know, but just bear with me. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. We have our legs wide. We're going to pop down into a squat on one side and a split on the other, essentially. And we're going to scoot our butts over to the other side. Boom. And then we're going to come back. What I want you to do is warm up your ankles, your knees, and your hips first. So, from a standing position or wherever you're at, come on down into the ground and squat. Your heels probably are coming off the ground. And in this case, that's what we want. I want you to feel that nice tense Achilles tendon stretch. I want you to feel that nice calf stretch. I want you to fold your chest down to your knees, and I want you to just hang out here. Okay? Breathe. Chill. Relax. Whew. Next, once you're a little bit more comfortable here, I want you to add a little bit of a movement. All right? A little wiggle of the hip here, a little wiggle of the hip there. Push the knee forward, push the other knee forward. Do a little dance. Get comfortable. We're going to put a whole bunch of stress and demand on our ankle, on our knees, on our hips. So, adding a little bit of gentle movement right now is going to help warm you up. All right? Have fun with it. Make it a dance. And let's go. It's time for some Cossack switches. Oh, I'm going to scoot over here so that my body is not cut off by the cameras. We are sticking our hands straight down into the ground. And we're going to extend one leg out to the side. I recommend to start heel down, toe up. All right. From here, the other side, we're dropping this heel on the ground. That's going to help us with stability. It's going to help us with balance. So definitely try your best to focus on keeping that heel down. Try your the best. Words. Okay. What are we going to do next? We are going to pop into a squat, a lower position. If you're new to the show, you're just starting out, and this is the deepest that you can get, great, no problem. If you are a little bit more flexible, you've been training, you've been doing some other sports, and you can get lower to the ground, amazing. Whatever you are, we're going to scoot our butts over to the other side and mirror this, all right? So what I want you to do is put your hands down, do a little wiggle, do a little shimmy, focus on scooting your hips over to the other side and sitting into that stretch on the other side. Whew, that is half a rep. We got to do another one and come back. All right, hands down, scoot, 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 scoot. That is one. I'm exaggerating the hand scoot to show you that it could be 100 little steps across, but you might only need one hand. All right. If that's you, great, awesome. You don't need as much assistance. Keep going. That's two. And keep on coming back. That's three. If you find you don't need your hands at all, fantastic. Continue without them. Here's four. If you are higher up off the ground, I don't want to leave you feeling left out. It is absolutely fine for you to be going like this. If you need help as well, here's some adjustments. You can put your hands down on a stool, on a chair to give yourself just a little bit of support. Just make sure your stool is underneath you so you can push straight down and not kind of like push something away from you, because that will not help you. All right. I have absolutely no idea how many of these we done, but I must have just kicked up a lot of dust because my nose is sadly super itchy. Okay, cool. Maybe it's just allergy season and I opened the windows last night and now my house is contaminated. All right. Keep going. We got seven. If your knees, the inside of your legs, are hurting a little bit, a little uncomfortable, your knees aren't handling this transitional position very well, we got some other options. All right. What I want you to do is focus on coming up a little bit first, coming across, then sinking back down. Coming back up, coming across, sinking down. I think this is eight. Keep going. Up, across, down. That's nine. Up, across, down. Yeah, one last final variation. This one's actually harder than the rest. Sort of, depending on what you're weak at and what you're strong at. Next, we're going to do a full squat. We're going to push out of that leg that is in the squatted position, or come up into this little triangle stance position, and we're going to slowly come on back down on the other side. Then we're going to power through again. And we're back, and we're done. That is our Cossack switches, or Cossack slidey things, and Cossack squats. If your legs are tired right now, that is 100% normal. We have just wrapped up our warm up. And the goal of the warm up was to get our joints, our heart rate, that blood flow going so that we can absolutely crush a whole bunch of stretches. All right. The first stretch we're doing is a hamstring stretch. And I recommend you go grab something to pad your knee because the way we're going to set it up is with one knee on the ground, one leg extended, and our belly buttons folding towards that thigh. And ugh, I got this. I got Jimmy Florin from Costco. You do not need anything special for this. All right. If you have a stuffed animal that your dog has ripped apart, perfect. Stick that stuffing right back in there. Stick it under your knee. You're ready to go. If you have, I don't know, usually I have a whole list of examples of random things around the house, but my brain is farting real hard today. That's what happens when I decide to wake up 10 minutes before the show starts. What else do I usually talk about? If you got a couch cushion, you got decorative pillows. Those are easy. If you got yoga mat, maybe roll it up a couple times for some extra protection. Put it under your knee. If you have dirty laundry, dirty towel, roll that up, stick it under your knee. Perfect. You're ready to go. Next, let's get into the actual stretch. I want you to start by bringing both knees down, and I want you to try your best to flex your butt, flex your core, stand up nice and straight and tall for just a second, and just chill here for a second. Enjoy this position where you're basically only bending at the knees. All right. The reason why we emphasize this is because a lot of the time we hang out in positions, we're chilling, we're leaning, we're in our chairs, and we're just doing a whole bunch of different things. That is probably fine for the most part, but for this stretch, I want you to really focus on keeping your body nice and straight. The reason for that is because in the next step, when we extend one leg out, it's going to be a little bit harder to balance. And I don't want you to be in this kind of position trying to balance your leg. I want you to try your very best to be standing nice and tall and straight. And if you need to, you can extend that leg out to the side, widen your stance to help with that balance. Okay? Next, we're going to fold the belly buttons down to that thigh. All right? That's it. That's the whole stretch. Fold that belly button down. As soon as you feel like your hamstrings are not excited to be folded anymore, we're ready to pause here and breathe and chill. All right. I'm gonna spin over to this side so you can see the angles a little bit better and not just the top of my head. When you are here and you're feeling like your muscles are getting a little tight, feel free to breathe and chill. All right. Inhale. Exhale and relax. Woo. Inhale again. Exhale and relax. Now, I want you to add a little bit of movement. All right. I want you to give a little knee bend. And I want you to bring your chest down towards that knee if you can. And then pause here for a second. Straighten that leg back out. Then come on back. Knee bend, chest. Straighten that out. Knee bend, chest. Straighten that out. Just do 4 or 5 of these. And they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have them touch your chest or anything. Just a little bit of knee bend. Focus on folding forward, and we're ready to continue. Come back into that leg straightened-ish position. We're going to do something called the inhale, exhale, fold. All right. We're going to take a big old breath of air. Inhale. Fill our lungs up without inflating like a balloon and popping up. We're going to try and keep right here. Then we're going to slowly exhale all that air. We're going to fold and focus on bringing our belly buttons down a little deeper into our thigh. All right. That's it. Let's go. Inhale. Big inhale. Exhale and fold. Woo. That is part one of our hamstring stretch. It gets worse than this, I promise. Let's go. If your hamstrings are feeling crazy right now, once again, get into that slight knee bend. Bring that chest down to that thigh and straighten it back out. Just a little bit of movement. From here, chill and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Flop over that leg. If your hamstrings are still feeling real tight, feeling real intense right now, take your fingers, stab them into your hamstrings. Just give yourself a light massage. You don't need any technique. Just poke and prod, and that'll distract your brain from the intensity of this stretch. And then you'll also be like, wait, what? There's like four lumpy things in my hamstrings. Is that what hamstrings are supposed to be? Yes. There are, I believe, three muscles that make the hamstring, and one of them is a bicep sounding muscle, which just means one end splits into two, like a slingshot. So it feels like there might be four ropes in your leg. All right. Anyways, now that we've hung out here for a little bit, hopefully you're looser, chiller, and we're gonna inhale, exhale, fold again. All right, let's go. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Woo. Do a little knee bend, straighten it out, knee bend, straighten it out, knee bend, straighten it out. You don't have to move fast. You don't have to move explosively. If it feels uncomfortable, you don't have to move at all. All right, but I have found that adding a little bit of movement here, emphasizing on folding the chest down, generally helps you get a little bit deeper into that stretch more comfortably. All right. Once you're here, we're ready to start the countdown. 30 seconds, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Whew, that's one leg. I got one more leg to do. Let's do it. Bring those knees back down on the ground. Work on that straight posture. Flex the glutes. Keep that core nice and tight. Stand up nice and tall for a second. And then we can be lazy again. Send that leg out in front. Fold forward. Bring that belly button down. And whew, once you start feeling that hamstring stretch, breathe and chill. Inhale. Exhale and flop. Let your body relax over that leg. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Breathe some more. Try your best to chill, to relax. The more tense the whole body is, the harder it is going to be for, the hamstring to relax. So try and be chill. Next, we're going to do a little bit of those knee bends. Bring that chest down to the knee. Straighten out that leg, chest to 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 knee. If you don't reach, it's totally fine. A little bit of knee bend, trying to bring your upper body towards that leg is going to help you focus the stretch on the hamstrings. All right. A lot of the time we do this because when you first start trying to touch your toes, your upper body tends to do this. You turn yourself into a little ball and you're trying to reach and you're trying to fold forward. That is not what the stretch is about. The stretch is about having your hips go forward or your belly button come down to the thigh. The belly button is basically like 2 inches above your hips. That's why I talk about the belly button so much. When your hips are folded, that is when the hamstring stretch kicks in. Everything above your belly button getting into it, that is not a hamstring stretch. That's just you stretching out your back. So that's not important. All right. So chill, relax those muscles. They should not be going trying to stick your face into your knee. That's too much. Next, where are we going with this? Inhale, exhale, fold. Y'all ready? We're taking it to the next level. We're taking a big breath in. We're slowly exhaling that air. We're going to fold a little bit deeper into our stretch. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Woo. Chill here. Breathe. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. Flop over that leg. Add a little bend to the knee. Focus on folding your chest down to that thigh. And keep going. Relax. One more breath. We're going to do one last inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Woo. That is our stretch. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If your hamstrings are feeling tight, feeling a little uncomfortable, if it's just a stretching kind of uncomfortable, that's normal. If this is a sharp pain uncomfortable, that is not normal. You don't have to continue. You can dial it back. All right. Use your fingers. Massage your hamstrings. Poke them, prod them. Distract your brain from the intensity of the stretch. And relax. Chill. I forgot how far I've counted. I'm nowhere close to knowing what we might be at. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, that is our hamstring stretch on this side. Whew. That is our first stretch. We got five of these. But don't worry, the rest of the stretches we don't spend nearly as much time on because we don't need them to perform nearly as much as we need our hamstrings to perform. We got a bunch of other stretches today that require the hamstrings to be in pretty good shape, in pretty good length, so you can focus on the other parts of the stretch. And that's why we spend a lot of time on the hamstring stretch, doing the elephant walk, and preparing those muscles. We're going to move on to stretch number two. It is called the butterfly stretch. What I want you to do is rest your low back, your mid back, and your upper back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall. We're going to bring our feet in together. We're going to pull our feet in towards our groin and get into this position. That is how we set up the butterfly stretch. The goal of this stretch is to stretch out the inner thigh muscles, the groin muscles right here. The way we do that is by bringing the knees down into the ground. I want you to try your best to use your outer thighs. I want you to use your glutes to open up your legs, bring your knees down into the ground. If you're new to the show and you're like, what muscles? What the heck? What you talking about? This is crazy. Don't worry too much about specific muscles right now. Focus on two things. One, that your knees go down towards the ground a little bit. And two, that you're feeling more of a stretch in the inside of your thighs. And then if you start contracting a whole bunch of muscles and you're like, hey, this is working, you're fine. You're doing good. Next, we're going to take our hands. We're going to apply a little pressure on the inside of our knees. If you have dumbbells or something, you can just rest them on your legs instead. But for everybody at home without equipment, we're going to push our own legs down into the ground. When you push your legs down, you're going to push your shoulders and the back of your head into the wall. This is why we're sitting in front of the wall. And you're going to feel pressure in the back of your head. That is normal. That's okay. All right. On your inhales, I don't want you to do anything. On your exhales, I want you to see if you can slowly add a little bit more pressure to that push and see if you can bring yourself into a deeper stretch. All right, we're doing this for 30 seconds. Let's begin. 30, 29, 28, 27, push, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. If you feel like you're feeling it in your groin, if you feel like your legs have gotten a little deeper and closer to the ground, you're doing good. Let the hands go. Your legs will probably pop on up. That's okay. What we want to do next is introduce a little bit of movement to know that your legs are working, and then we can move on into our next stretch. If your legs are not flapping up and down quite that easily, you can take your leg, you can give it a nice shake and go, hey, hey, wake up, we got stuff to do. Do the same on the other side. Hey, hey, wake up, we got stuff to do. And that should help a little bit. All right. Once your legs are flapping, the butterfly is going, ready to take off. We're ready to take off as well into our third stretch, the standing pancake. Get rid of the cushions, get rid of all the other stuff that you might have accumulated. We're going to not need any of that for this stretch. The standing pancake is our third stretch, and it looks a little bit like this. We're going to come back into standing. We're going to try and open up our legs pretty wide. All right. If you can hit something like 60 degrees, awesome. Great place to start. If you can go deeper, hit 90, amazing. But what I do want you to focus on is not feeling discomfort, not feeling pain in the hips right here. Right? If you're feeling a sharp, almost pinching sensation, that is your thigh bone smashing into your hip bone. We don't want that. All right? If you're feeling it, bring your legs in just a little bit. We can get deeper later. Don't worry about that. Okay? Next, focus on the belly button. We're going to fold the belly button down towards the ground. Whee! Ooh, here is our starting position. From the side, it's going to look a little like this. What I want you to do is focus on folding forward. All right? Everything's about the belly button coming down to the ground. Everything's about the belly button trying to smash into your thighs. Okay? In the standing pancake, our goal is to fold our upper body in between our legs. It's going to look something closer to this, and my hamstrings are too tight to actually go any further. But what is important is when we do this variation, the standing variation, gravity is helping to pull us down, pull us into a deeper stretch. And that's what we want, as much help as possible. Okay? What I want you to do is focus on keeping your upper body as close to horizontal as possible. That is when gravity will feel the most intense. To make this even more difficult on yourself, you can extend your arms so that your biceps are past your ears. And next time you breathe, try to relax. You'll sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. If you're a real masochist, feel free to hold a tiny weight and do the same thing. Set it up. All right. What else? You can widen your leg stance if you'd like at this point. When you are folded like this in this 90-degree angle, you should be able to drop a lot lower into your leg width, into your side split looking thing. All right. So if you're comfortable, go ahead and take that range, take that depth. It's going to make your inner thigh muscles work really hard, and that's fine. That's cool. That's what we want. Whew. Is there anything else we need to cover? No, I think we're good. Let's do our standing pancake. Oh, no, there's something else to cover. If you are feeling like your face is way too close to the ground, you're like, "Ooh, what the heck is happening? I'm scared." You can stick your hips and put them back behind you a little bit. Whee! When you do that, you're going to pull your whole center of gravity further back. Your chest is going to come up off the ground, and your whole body is going to get a little closer to horizontal, which is actually going to be helpful because that's how we get gravity to work a little harder for us, right? Gravity is not working harder for us. We're just going to feel it more. We're positioning our bodies so that gravity makes us suffer. Great. Amazing. All right. That is enough of a side tangent. Let's go. Focus on bringing your belly button down into the ground. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Whew. Relax. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. Widen the leg stance if you're ready for it. And you don't need to hold the weight at all. Extend your arms out past your head. Stick your butt back to help counterbalance. Keep on breathing. Inhale. Exhale. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If the stretch gets too intense at any time, feel free to put your hands down. Stop the stretch and support yourself instead. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. Put your hands down on the ground. Oh, if your inner thigh muscles are crying for help right now, that is normal. I want you to slowly wiggle your toes and your heels and your toes and your heels and your toes and your heels and your toes and your heels in towards the center of your body until your legs are underneath you and you can kind of almost come back into standing. All right. Right now, we're probably in this kind of looking position. We're all hunched over. Take a second, pop into a little bit of a squat, push off your thighs, come back into standing, and that is our third stretch. Usually, I go into a big, long explanation about some muscles, your inner thighs being really tired, but I think I'm gonna skip it for today because the show's running a little bit long already. Let's move on into stretch number 4. We're gonna get into the pigeon and the figure 4 stretch. You got the option, whichever one you prefer, you can get into. If you're a regular, feel free to do whichever one you like. If you're new to the show, I believe last night we did the figure four, so tonight we're gonna do, or today we're gonna do the pigeon. All right, we're gonna do the pigeon all day, which means tonight we'll also do the pigeon. Oof. I'm gonna throw this out of the way. I'm gonna grab some stuff and let's talk the pigeon. Both the figure four and the pigeon stretch have the same fundamentals. We're taking this leg, we're crossing over across the body, resting it just above our knee. Then we're going to grab that ankle, we're going to bring it up to our belly button, we're going to bring our belly button down to that ankle. All right? It's going to look a little like this. From the side, it's going to look a little like this. What we're trying to do is feel the stretch here in the side of this hip. It's technically a glute muscle, but when you're standing, this is your hip, colloquial speak. Now, where else are you going to feel it? You're going to feel it in your hamstrings. Your leg is going to be rotated like this. You're probably going to feel it right here in the inner, inside in the hamstrings. You'll probably feel it a little bit out here on the outside of the thigh. You'll probably feel something as you fold forward. That is all normal. Cool? So let's take that starting position from here and recreate it on the ground. Come on down. You don't have to come down with one leg. I'm just holding the leg to show you that we're maintaining this straight down. Cool? Next, the goal of the pigeon is to fold our upper bodies into our legs. If you can focus on sort of this middle line and finding a middle point between your knee and your ankle, you are going to be all set. That's all you gotta do. All right, boom, folded forward. But there are lots of variations to the stretch. You can extend one leg out to the side, keep it there the whole time. You can bend that leg, keep it there the whole time. You can extend that leg back behind you, and this is more typical of what you would see in a yoga class, and do something like this. All right. If you're having a little bit of trouble with bringing that leg back behind you, I got a couple of tips. The first one is stop trying to sit up so straight. The higher up your upper body is, the more pressure you're putting on this hip and the more pressure you're putting on that knee. And if you just fold forward, it'll be a lot easier to hold this. All right. Tip number two is elevate your front leg. If you get that front leg up, chances are your hips will come up too. And when you do that, you're going to have much more room underneath your hips for this back leg to extend out underneath. And it'll be much easier to hang out in this position. Cool? That is our pigeon tips. From now on, implement them as you'd like. You don't have to do the leg back thing if you don't want to. You can keep it off to the side. You can keep it bent. And we're going to start folding. All right? One more time. This leg is coming across the body. We're trying to get the center of this upper body down to kind of the center point between the knee and the ankle. And we're going to go down like so. Cool? All right. Let's go. Fold, 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 fold. We're trying to keep our hips low and then bring our chest, bring our head down afterwards. All right? We don't want to get into a situation where your head is real low to the ground and your butt is in the sky. Extend the leg back behind you if you'd like, if you want to, and focus on keeping this leg stuck in position. It's going to be very tempting to let that heel drop towards your groin because that's going to make the stretch easier. And you can, to make it something you can actually get into, but once you can get into it, don't let that ankle keep on slipping into an easier and easier and easier stretch. I recommend keeping your hand planted so that you can keep the leg from slipping. Cool? All right. Fold forward. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Turn yourself into jelly. Flop over that leg. Relax. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 21, 20. If your stretch feels like it's gotten easier, push that leg towards your face. It'll suddenly get way harder. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Experiment with a straight back. It should make the stretch a little harder on the hips. If you relax and you turn yourself into just a ball of dough, into jelly instead, that will be really nice. It will be really chill and relaxed. And that is also important. So experiment with it. Have fun. Don't necessarily get stuck in what you think is one perfect variation. Movement is about movement, not just about sitting here struggling with your hips. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. If you're feeling mean to yourself, feel free to push your ankle further from your groin towards your face. 2, 1, 0. That is it. Come on out of that stretch. Oh, I was mean to myself. I regret it. Next, bring the other leg around and let's go. I'm gonna do this one facing you guys. Leg is across the body. We're trying to get that center line down to somewhere between the ankle and the knee. If you can aim for center, that's just a general rule of thumb. If you want to experiment today, feel free to try to drop your knee right on top of your, sorry, drop your chest right on top of your knee. Try to do the opposite. Try to bring your chest all the way to your ankle and see how that feels. All right. Next, we're going to extend that leg back behind us. And that's optional, of course, only if you want to. I'm trying to scoop myself back so that my leg isn't cut off, and now I've hit the wall. Okay, cool. Let's go. Fold. Bring that chest down towards the leg. Relax. Breathe. Imagine you are just made of jello and you're flopping into that leg. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little bit deeper. Sink a little bit deeper. 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29. 28. No! I've lost an earbud. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 20. Again, experiment with straightening out your back. Feeling that tension build in that hip muscle, in that glute muscle, in your hips, but in that glute muscle. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. That is our pigeon stretch. Whew. Come on up out of it. Bring that leg back out. It is completely normal if one leg is a little bit more flexible than the other. All right. If you're finding, oh, one hip didn't come down nearly as easily as the other, that is again very normal. It's just like how you have one hand that you've trained to be very good at writing, and the other hand is like fine at a whole bunch of other things, just nothing that's like super dexterous. Same thing. If you take the stairs, or you always have one leg that you step onto the ladder with, or whatever random thing in your house that you do a lot, chances are one leg is going to be a little bit stronger than the other. That is normal. That is also why single leg training is very important, because you can gauge, you can estimate, you can understand what's going on in your hips, in your legs, in your ankles, and your knees a little bit better. You can see why your left leg is a little bit less or stronger or whatever compared to your other leg, and you should definitely do some single leg training. All right. That is beyond the scope of this show, because I'm just trying to buy myself time to let my legs recover so that we can get into our fifth and final stretch. And now I think I'm ready. Let's go. We're going to move on into our fifth and final stretch. We're doing some side splits. All right. If you've never done a side split before, don't worry. We're probably not going to be able to get into it today in this show, like actually with your butt on the ground. But we're going to work on some stretches to slowly get us there. All right. The way we set up our side splits, we do 3 rounds of 30 seconds. And in between each of those 30 seconds, we are going to do a little shake. We're going to do a little dance. We're going to try and move to get a little bit more relaxed to help us chill in our stretch. Okay? Yeah, that's it. That's all we're doing. But I haven't said this in a while. We're doing 60-ish minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make stretching, the suffering you're about to do, a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier for you to stay consistent. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is consistency. That's the number one quality, right? You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow it, if you can't be consistent with the plan, it doesn't really matter anyways. So we're here every day, 9 p.m. It's currently not 9 p.m. Well, somewhere in the world it's 9 p.m. It's not 9 p.m. Eastern. It's currently 9 a.m. Eastern, and we run this live twice on the weekends at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. But Monday through Sunday, every single day of the week, we are here at 9 p.m. All right. That's the spiel. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, and let's get into some side splits. Also, I'm a big encourager of grunting and groaning, making as many sound effects as you need to, because you should have fun with it. All right. Next, we're getting to some side splits. Have your butt rest on the wall. Cool. Take one step in front of said wall, about 8 to 12 inches. That's usually 1 footstep for most people. All right. Open up those legs, nice and wide. Same setup as we did for the standing pancake. And if you can go a little bit deeper now because your hips are a little looser, great, awesome. Next, if your hips are hurting, if they're pinching, if you've got weird sensations right here on either side, you've gone too far. Bring your legs back in. Next, focus on bringing the belly button down into the ground, and we are ready to continue. Try your best to stick your hands into the ground. If you cannot reach or you just don't want to, elevate your hands. I have a stool for this, but you can use yoga blocks. You can use all sorts of random things that are going to be a little bit more stable. If you have a couple of really big history textbooks, science textbooks, because your kids are in school or something, great, stack them. Amazing. I just took a quick look over at the random pile of, that is the rest of my house so that I can have this clean background. And yoga blocks, foam rollers, probably not a good idea. If you have parallettes, those will work just fine. Stools, lots of stools. I like stools. Stools are good. All right, we're moving on. Next, right now, your feet should be flat on the ground. Your toes are pointed forward. Your knees are pointing forward. Okay? What I want you to do is rotate your thigh bones so that they do not ever smash into your hips again. That pinching sensation I talked about earlier just doesn't show up anymore. The way we do that is by rotating that leg back, and it looks like this. Boom! The heel is now down, the knee is pointing up, and the toes are pointing up. But we can't just do this for one leg because that's only one side. We gotta do both legs. All right? So rest your hands on your stool, rest your hands on your whatever it is, and externally rotate the other leg as well. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. From here, we are in a side split. We might not be super deep in our side split, but we're in position for it. So you're doing great. Next, I want you to chill, breathe, inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. I want you to do a little lean to the right, push that leg out, lean to the left, push that leg out, lean to the right, push that leg out, lean to the left, push that leg out. And then walk your hands towards your hips. Try and see if you can rest your butt against the wall. All right? That is our stretch. When you get here, you might be feeling real tight, you might be feeling a little crazy. What I want you to do is try your best to relax. If your knees are pointing up into the air and the top of your head is also pointing up into the sky, you're holding your side split position, so you're doing good. You can relax those muscles. If you were flexing your feet because you were like Ken said, point your toes up into the air, you don't have to flex those. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings, relax your glutes, relax your low back. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Try to turn yourself into a pile of jello. All right? This is our starting position. You should be feeling it quite a bit in the hamstrings, in addition to having your legs nice and wide. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That is our stretch. If you can, get rid of that stool. Walk your hands forwards. Bring your legs in underneath you. Whew. Take your time. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our first stretch. Breathe, relax, and let's get ready to shake out some tension. All right. What we just did puts a whole bunch of tension into our legs, into our body, and afterwards we're wobbling around like drunk penguins and we're not wanting to move. What we're going to try our best to do right now is shake out that tension out of our bodies, relax those muscles so that we can get into a deeper second stretch. All right. So what I want you to do is try to shake out your ankles. I'm lifting my leg real high so it's above the chat, above the comments. You don't have to lift your leg that high. You can keep it nice and low. But what I want you to do is focus on gently shaking out your ankles. This is not the same as flexing the foot, pointing the toe, and doing ankle circles with your muscles. We're just trying to have them flop all over the place and use the range of motion that you otherwise would have your muscles pull that ankle into. All right. The reason why we care about this is because we want our muscles to be loose. If your ankles are flopping all over the place, going crazy, those muscles have to be relatively loose to let you go there. All right. We've done one leg. Let's switch to the other side. Shake, 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 shake. If you want, you can start very, 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 very gentle. And as you get more comfortable with it, as you figure out what is okay for your ankles, you can pick up the intensity. You can as you need to. All right. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And hopefully your legs are feeling a little bit better. Take a couple of quick steps, do a little dance, do a little shimmy, and hopefully your legs are moving better than the drunk penguin flopping that we were doing earlier. All right. Next, we're gonna move on into our hips. What I want you to do is put all your weight into one leg, big toe, the other foot is down, and I want you to focus on rotating the hip in and out and in and out and in and out. And as you get stronger, as you get faster at this, you can pick up the pace, you can pick up the tempo, you can turn to a dance move and be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Just have fun with it. All right. Take your time, build up some strength, build up some control, work on that internal and external rotation of the hip, and we're ready to move on. Next, leg. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down on the other one. We'll bring the leg in, bring the leg out, bring the leg in, bring the leg out, bring the leg in, bring the leg out, bring the leg in, bring the leg out. Notice nothing else in the body is moving. It's just this thigh bone where it connects to your hip. Okay? And then, the other things are locked up and just holding that position. So the knee looks like it's moving, but you're not going, wee, look, my knee is doing a dance. That's not how knees work. Knees bend. Okay. Hopefully your hips are a little looser. Your legs are a little looser because we're gonna move on into side split number 2. Let's go. Stand with your butt against the wall. Take one step forward. Open up those legs nice and wide. If you're feeling a pinching sensation here in the hips, stop. Bring your legs back together, and we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. If you cannot touch the floor or you just don't want to, feel free to elevate your hands and get into this position. All right. From here, if you got the range, get a little deeper into your stretch. You might find after that first side split, you can actually go a little bit deeper into this one. It's not because you magically have a lot more range, it's just because you're probably a little bit more warmed up now. All right. From here, we're ready to externally rotate our legs. Right now, our knees are kind of pointing forward. We're going to rotate the leg back 90 degrees so that the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. We're going to do the same on the other side. Heels are down, toes are up, and knees are pointing up. All right. From here, inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Lean a little to the right, lean a little to the left, lean a little to the right, lean a little to the left, and see if you can get a little bit deeper. All right. If you're using a stool, if you're using a prop, hopefully that prop is a little bit more mobile and you can bring it underneath your hips because that is going to help you put your weight on top of your hips. All right. That's it. That's all we're doing. I talked about earlier walking your hands to your hips and resting your butt on the wall for that version of the stretch. If you're using something to elevate your hands, you're a little bit higher off the ground, you're just walking your hands and bring your hands close to your hips. That's it. Cool? From here, we're ready to continue into our next stretch. And I realize I haven't been demonstrating this with a stool because I've been on the ground. But the next thing we're going to do is walk our hands forward just a little bit. All right. So that your hands are underneath your shoulders if you can. And when we do this, we pull our hips forward and our legs are rotating. So now you should be feeling more of a stretch here in the inner thighs. All right. We want this because you need to have your inner thighs be super stretchy in order to get into side splits. It's not just the hamstring stretch that we were feeling when we were sitting down on the ground. We also got to make our inner thighs work really hard. All right. When you are here, whether on a stool or the ground, we want your hands underneath your shoulders and we want your knees kind of pointing up at a diagonal, sort of in front of you. Okay. That is when you're in position and we're ready to hold for 30 seconds. So let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. If you're feeling like you got a little bit more in you, you can do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, get a little bit more depth. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. If at any time you're like, this is crazy, I can't hold it anymore, you can always walk your hands back into that hamstring heavy version of the stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's our stretch. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. Oh, that is our side split number 2. Whew. The legs are tired. Your hips are tired. That is very, 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 very reasonable. We're going to take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale and relax. We're gonna try and take a one big step up into standing and shake out our legs. All right, let's go. Get those ankles relaxed. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Some more. Shake, 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 and relax. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. As you get more comfortable with the flopping and the shaking, if you're a regular on this show, you can start adding in more than just the ankles flopping. You can start rotating at the hip. You can use the motions that we were doing for here a little bit earlier, and you can start shaking out the whole leg going. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to relax your body, relax your muscles so that you can get into a deeper stretch. How you relax is not that important. I emphasize with starting with the ankles because it's very visible. You can see what your ankles are doing, and you can understand immediately that the muscles above them are a little bit more relaxed. And you can slowly build upwards and take more relaxation from across all the other muscles in your leg. But when you get more advanced, when you get more floppy and chill, you can add in whatever you want. All right. Next, we're gonna move on into our hips. All your weight is one leg, big toe is down, rotating leg in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. This is our basic movement, and you can always keep doing this. But if you're ready for something more advanced, you want to do something a little bit more fun, we can take a look at this movement. This is us bringing the leg in, right? This is us bringing the leg out. If you extend the leg and you pull the whole leg in, you go whoosh, start doing a little stanky leg. You can push that leg back out, woo, and bring it in and push it out and bring it in and push it out and bring it in and have fun with that hip mobility that we are building, right? It's cool to, be able to bring your knees in and out, but it's also cool to put that mobility to work, to put that strength to work. And that is what I want you to try your best to do. All right. Next, other side. This leg has a slight bend in it. We're going to pull and push this other leg, pulling it in, pushing it back, pulling it in, pushing it back, pulling it in, pushing it back. Do that stanky leg. Push that back to reset. Pull that leg in, push it back to reset. Pull that leg in, push that back to reset. Oh, and that is the stretchy, stretchy, fun stuff that's even more tiring than before. This bent leg that was supporting your weight while you were doing this and making it look cool and graceful is probably tired. So you can go back to shaking and chilling and flopping for a second, and then we're gonna get into our third side split. All right. Whew. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up your legs nice and wide. If you're feeling pain in the hips, stop, bring your legs together, and we're ready to fold. If you can reach the ground, great. If you cannot, or if you don't want to, elevate your hands. I recommend a stool. This was 12 bucks on Amazon. You don't need anything fancy fitness equipment wise. You just need household items to get to most of our stretches. Okay. I like stools. I'm short. I need stools. So I got a lot of stools. So, stool. Anyways, where are we going with this? It's time to drop a little bit deeper. Hands down. Open up those legs. And we're going to externally rotate the legs. All right. We're rotating the thigh bone so it does not smash into the hip bones. What that looks like is we're going to go from this knee pointing forward to the knee pointing up. The heels are down, the toes are up, the knees are pointing up. We got to do both sides. Boom. Heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Once you're here, you're in your side split position. All we got to do now is drop a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale and drop. Ho, 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 ho. Inhale. Exhale and drop. Oh, oh, oh. Inhale. Exhale and drop. Oh. That was a lot of inhales. That was a lot of exhales. So if you're hyperventilating a little bit right now, feel free to dial it back. Chill. And add a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left. Each time you lean, see if you can push your legs out just a tiny bit further. And let's walk our hands back. See if you can sit back against the wall. I really like this position because the wall is acting like a little bit of a stool. It's helping you stay stable, it's helping you get comfortable, it's helping you to relax in this deep split looking position. All right. If your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is pointing up, you're still holding your side split position. So please relax some muscles. Relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, relax your hamstrings, relax your glutes, and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. All right. For round number 3, we got options. If you'd like, you can do the version of our side split where you're sitting a little bit straight up in this position that we're currently in, what we did for stretch number 1. If you'd like, you can do the version where we're doing a little bit of a push-up looking position when you're feeling more of a stretch in the inner thighs. That's stretch number 2. And our third option is to turn this into a pancake. All right. If you sit your butt down, or even if you don't sit your butt down, you sit on that stool, you can focus on that forward fold. I believe what's holding me back from getting into a deeper side split at this point is my pancake. So I'm going to work on my pancake stretch. You have the option of doing stretch 1, stretch 2, or the pancake, whatever it is that you like. All right. Let's take 5 more seconds to set up whatever thing you're getting into, and then we'll begin. 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Oh, I tried to do it from a seated position. I realized it was not working for me, so I adjusted, and I recommend you do the same. If anything in our show feels uncomfortable, feels like something's not quite right, stop, come out of it. Try it a little bit differently. Ask questions. I don't do the Q&A until the end of the show because I already talk so much and the show already runs so long. I want to be respectful of the time of our regulars. But once we get to the end, I sit around and I do a lot of Q&A. Okay? So, what did we just do? We just finished our third and final side split looking thing. Let's come on up, shake out our legs, do a couple of quick joint checks, make sure everything is working well, and then we're going to do Q&A. All right? Bring your legs together, however that makes sense for you in whatever position you're in right now, and Oh, come on back into standing. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Let's shake out our ankles and shake out our legs. Since we're not going back into more stretches, you don't have to go crazy with the shaking. You don't have to get super ultra loose. Just kind of loose, kind of chill. It's fine. All right. Shake out that leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, flop, flop. Flop some more. Do a little dance. Shake out those hips. Shake out the legs. And let's get into the thing where we bounce all of our weight into one leg. Big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. One last skill. If you extend this leg out to the side, we used to do this, right? If you straighten out that leg a little bit, but then put some knee bend right back into it, just a little bit, the slightest little bit of bend, you can start doing something that looks like this. You can start shaking out that leg real hard, real aggressive, until your thighs look like they're made of jello and they're flopping all over the place and going a little bit crazy. All right. When you're able to shake out your thighs like that, your thighs, those muscles are probably pretty loose. If you put a whole bunch of weight into it, they will not shake. If you put all of the weight into that standing leg and let these muscles relax, they will shake a little bit more easily. All right. As you get stronger, as you get more chill with this inside, outside, internal, external rotation that we've been doing as the foundation, as the base of this movement, you can upgrade this. And once you've upgraded, you can just keep on doing this. You don't have to go back. But if you're not there yet, feel free to take your time and have fun with it. All right. Shaky, 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 shake, shake, flop, 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 flop. Remember, this is all about relaxation, right? All we care about is that your muscles are chill so that you can go do whatever else that you need to do. If they're tense and you're walking around like this, that would be bad. That's not what we want. All right. Both for the side splits and for you in your regular life. I almost tripped over a dumbbell. Put your dumbbells away. Don't leave them out, stubbing your toe, having things to fall over. All right. That means we're ready to move on into some hip circles. We're gonna do a couple of quick joint checks. Slowly work those deep hip circles. Take a nice and slow. Oh, yeah, come on through. If you're feeling crazy stretches, tension, pressure in the sides of your hips, because we just did the side splits, that's very normal. Take your time. Come on through a couple rounds. Two in one direction, two back the other way. And oh, run, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. If you find a sweet spot, I guess this isn't a sweet spot, a sour spot that needs a little bit of love, needs a little bit of attention, feel free to just hang out there for a little bit. Give it some love. Chill. Same thing on the other side. If it happens to be one of those muscles that the side split hits, yeah. Oh. All right. Whew. Next, we're gonna do some high knees. You just have to lift the knees once. If your knees come up, you're good. You're fine. Everything's good. Next, we're gonna do some calf raises from a squat position. We're gonna get all of these joints, tendons, muscles working together in one crazy move. And it looks a little bit like this. We're gonna bring our feet right under our hips. Not crazy wide, not super narrow, just directly under. From here, we're gonna pop into a squat. And I want you to bring your chest down towards your knees. All right. From here, I want you to try and push your knees a little bit forward, a little bit in front of your toes if you can. If you can't get there, don't worry about it. But in that direction. All right. When you do this, you might feel like your center of gravity is kind of way out in front of you. You might feel like you want to topple over. That is the sensation that we want because we're trying to use that to get our feet working real hard. Your toes should be clenching and crimping into the ground. Yet the arch of your foot should be working real hard because your toes are working real hard to keep you balanced. From here, you also should be feeling that nice Achilles tendon stretch because your knees are pointed forward. You should be feeling a nice calf stretch. There should be a good amount of tension here. You can poke your leg to double check, and your quads are probably crying and telling you to stop. Next, put your hands down for a little support if you need it. But we're doing some calf raises. All right, come up onto your tippy toes, onto that forefoot, and keep going. What we want is to have our feet working, our toes, our arch, our ankle, our Achilles tendon, our calves, our knees, our hamstrings, our glutes, our low back, our quads, all those muscles, all those joints working well together. And if you're able to do even 75% of that crazy leaning calf raise, those joints, those muscles, those things, we're all working well together, right? So chances are you're probably good to go back to whatever else you have to do today. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, working on side splits, working on hip mobility, practicing a little bit of consistency with me this morning. Again, this live is every single day at 9 p.m. and on the weekends, which is right now, we do bonus lives at 9 a.m. This live has been running quite long because I've been super talkative, 10:20. So we're 80 minutes deep already to the core of the show. Uh, Usually, at least this week, we've been done long before then or deep into Q&A. But it's the weekend. There's a lot more new people. So hopefully it was fun. Hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully you're feeling a little looser now and you're ready to boogie for the rest of the day. I make a bunch of other content. All right. Most of it is around adding a little bit of fitness into the little parts of your life where you were otherwise going to doom scroll for 2 minutes waiting for your microwave to heat up lunch, where you're waiting for your ramen to become soggy and soft so it's actually edible while you're waiting for your coffee to be finished, to be made. Those 2 minutes are plenty is plenty of time to do things like kata switches, the things that we're doing in our warm ups, to work on hip cars, get your heart rate up, get your energy up, and I hope you give my other videos a shot. All you have to do is hit follow and hit subscribe, and they'll just come into your feed, and hopefully it'll add a little bit of positivity to your doom scroll. All right. Um, is there anything else we need to talk about? I make other content, including calisthenics tutorials. Right now, I'm working on my own skills, or I'm starting to rebuild my own skills. And I got a couple of tutorials for things like the frog stand, which looks like this, the crow pose, which looks like this, and the elbow lever, which looks a little like this. And each of those skills can be leveled up and turned into cooler skills. They all stack on top of each other. But if you're interested in those at all, feel free to check them out on YouTube. The username is youtube.com/@ symbol splits on the side. So the same username on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you got any questions about those, feel free to come back into live tomorrow at the end and ask them in the Q&A, and I'll actively work on some stuff with you right here in the live. Cool? All right. I think that is more or less all the shameless self promotion. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, and I am going to look at the chat. I'm gonna start over on YouTube because I think there's usually a little bit fewer messages there. Queen R says good morning. Yoga says good. Trek's Quest is back. Good nasty. How you doing? And set uh Muration 2143 asks, do straight arm floor sliding lat pullers. Do straight arm floor sliding lat pull. Is that is that what you're calling the penguin pull up thing that I have a video about? I don't know if my hands are going to be grippy. I'm a little sweaty, so this could work. I have a video for the rest of the people on TikTok and YouTube who might not know about working on pull ups. Oh, I'm perfectly sweaty. That my hands were able to pull my body forward, but my quads got stuck and there was a lot of friction. Ow. Um, yeah, there we go. I did one. I think that is a surprisingly difficult exercise. One of the hardest positions when you're first learning pull ups is being at the very bottom where your arms are basically extended in that pull up position. And from the floor, doing that thing that I just did, laying down, where my arms are extended out in front and I'm laying down. Hold on, let me see if I can pull my shorts a little lower so my quads don't catch fire here. When you do that first initial pull, that very little bit at the bottom, you're working a lot of those muscles, and it's not easy. It's really quite difficult to do. So, if you're working on your pull ups, I think it's a good general thing to do at home to get a little bit of practice. Your range of motion is very similar to a pull up, and I honestly think it's a good exercise. So, thank you for bringing it up. And I have not been sweaty enough in the videos that I've made about it to get my hands to stick. But I guess after an hour and a half of live side split stretching, it, I'm sweaty enough for my hands to grip the floor. Usually, I'm just paddling like a fool because my hands don't stick to the ground, and I need something else to grab on. All right. What else we got? Keisha says, "Good morning. My Taekwondo tournament is today at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope I do well. Good luck." I was gonna say break a leg, but in Taekwondo specifically, that sounds like not very good luck. Um, I hope you break some. No, no, no. I don't hope. I hope nobody's legs break. Don't do that. Keisha, Queen of R is wishing for good luck, saying you'll crush it. Thank yous. Johanna says hi. Hi. And then Burkaya Yemen says, "How are you, bro? I'm good. Thank you for asking." And Aset Muration has come back with, "It's hard, right? But not bend at elbows with straight legs. With straight legs, I can't do that. My legs will catch fire. I need to put on like a towel. I need to put on a whole bunch of random things to protect my skin because I'm a little bit sweaty, and that sweatiness is making my body sticky. Uh, hold on. Let's see what I can do. If I just do it as a push-up, it should be fine. Ugh, ugh. And I think you're bringing this up to the next level. This is gonna get way harder. All right, so you're asking for this to be a lat pull down with arms straight. You're asking for the legs to be straight. I'm gonna just cover my quads and my feet. I guess I'll just hook here. Oh man, I'm a little nervous now. All right, let's do this. Pull, 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 pull. Ugh. Maybe I need to basically do a push up at the same time. Let's see. Let's keep the core nice and tight. Let's crank up the tension in the glutes. And oh, okay. Well, I mean, it kind of worked. I think my elbows bent a little bit at the end, and then uh, my back also arched a little bit towards the middle, towards the end. Whew. But those are not easy. Those are like really hard. And if you're mimicking, I mean, your specific version with the arms straight is is a real pain in the butt. Because could you imagine doing a pull up like this? That would be crazy. But that stuff aside, it's surprisingly difficult to do that version where you're pulling yourself off the floor, right? Um, if you guys are working on your first pull up, if you're trying to build up some strength, it is an actually really viable way to build up a little bit of strength. Um, you should definitely try it. Especially, like I said, that first very beginning where you're trying to just get a little bit of movement going, where your lats, your back muscles are just trying to squish into the ground to get as much friction as possible to pull you forward. That stuff is really useful because it's one of the hardest things to learn when you're on an actual pull-up bar, right? Like when you're on a pull-up bar, the worst part is this part right here where you're like, and you're trying to get a little bit off the ground, and most people will even skip it. So a lot of people will develop their pull-ups without ever going all the way to the bottom because it's so hard and difficult to start at the bottom. They do the top to like here with the elbows bent a little bit, and then they go right back up instead of fully coming to the bottom. And the floor is able to make that a little bit more manageable, depending on how straight you want to keep your arms, how close you want to keep them, and it makes it less awful to do those things. So you should, if you haven't seen the video, I think it's one of my best performing videos. Some combination of dragging your body across the floor with a towel, with sticky gloves so that you have a little bit of grip, or with your body holding on to something so that you can pull yourself across a surface horizontal instead of an actual pull up where you're going up and down. Oh, okay. I think that is the YouTube chat, and let's see what we got over on TikTok. I feel like there's a lot going on in here because TikTok has said 99 plus new messages for a really long time. Travel Darky says, good morning. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see if there's anybody talking about the weird pull up things that we were doing. Jenny Jen Jen says, what muscles does that work? Oh, that thing that we're doing on the floor works a lot of the muscles that you would be working on in a pull up, right? If you were to do a pull up, let me get far enough back, we're fully extended, right? Arms up, and we're bringing our elbows down. We're trying to get into this position. If you want to get real deep, maybe you're getting into this position, right? That's the main movement for pull up. A lot of it is coming from the back muscles, and a lot of it is coming from the arm muscles, right? When we take that and we just flip it 90 degrees onto the ground, and we still have our arms extended up in front. I think my hands dried up. I'm not sweaty anymore, so this might not work. Oh man, I gotta press really hard. Okay, let's do this. When you do this, hold on. Before I pull myself, I'm gonna protect my legs so that they don't catch fire. And when you do this version, you fire your muscles, you pull yourself forward like so. You're using a lot of muscles that are super similar to when you do the pull up. It's going to be a little bit easier. And depending on how slippery your floor is and how you position your arms, it will be a lot easier because you can focus on just the ranges of motion where you're going to be stronger at. For example, if you were to just hang out here, instead of pulling your arms all the way out in front of you, if you hang out here and you do something like this, where you're going to naturally be stronger because it's the range of motion that people use typically, you can definitely build up some more strength fast at home without any fancy equipment, right? We have some foam mats, and we only need that because I don't want my legs to lose any hair and be super red and irritated for the rest of the day. Okay. Oh, that's what those are for. Alec 400 says, good morning. And they're not going to replace pull-ups. Pull-ups are going to be harder. They're going to be easier to make even more difficult when you get stronger. But until you get your pull-ups, they are pretty darn difficult, especially if you're sticky and sweaty everywhere on your body. You need a little bit of sticky and sweatiness on your hands so that you can actually grip the floor to pull yourself. But everywhere else that you're sticky is just going to rip your skin apart. So put some protective layers on. Kimar says, thanks, Ken. You're welcome. Che sending awesome emojis. I love it. Appreciate it. Um, wow, those are crazy symbols I've never seen before. Says Che, yeah, for the second one, I'm not going to go so deep. Yes, for your side splits, take your time. Do not feel like you have to do exactly as I am doing. When I give those instructions and I give those options, I try to usually say, hey, if you want to stop, go to stop. I don't think I did today. Um, take your time, chill. I talk a lot, I over explain. I try to give us a lot of time in between things to get into stuff. And sometimes I try to pick up the speed and talk really fast because I'm covering the same thing for like the second time or the third time. So that might feel like it's going really fast, but at the end of the day, try your best to control yourself and go at your own pace because there's no reason for me to rush you. You're taking the time, you're doing your splits. I'm just trying to make sure that life continues, and you should take whatever benefit you can from the show. And that might mean taking it nice and slow, taking it nice and careful, doing a little shift to the left, shift to the right, slowly dropping down, having whatever you need to support yourself to help you keep yourself feeling safe. The stool is just one thing, right? If you want to have multiple stools, if you want to have a ton of stuff all over the place ready to help you, right? Like you got one over here as your primary. If you can't get up out of something, you have a second one. If you need to pad the floors with foam, if you need to have something to sit on to help you get into a deeper split position, those are all things you should absolutely get for yourself, right? I run this show with very little equipment. because I want people to get into the exercise. I want people to feel like you don't even need anything. You can just get down on the floor, right? That does not mean that you have to do it that way. I'm showing you like the minimum things that you need. But if you want to make this place, your training space sick, you want to get like uh what are those called? Swedish ladder, because you want to have like something you can literally grab and support yourself and pull yourself through each of your layers of the side split. That would be awesome. And get as much equipment as you would like. But you don't need that stuff, and that is why I do it with just this tool and one piece of foam. All right, what else we got? What else we got? Alec 400 said good morning. Way deep at the end. I'm gonna scroll up real quick to see if there is anything else to look at. Janie says thank you. Chase says made it. Amazing. I scrolled down and then it looks like a bunch of the chat from the beginning has disappeared. So that means I'm not going to be able to go very far back. I'm going to just look at the more recent chat. Sambo Tomat says, my hand can't even push my knees. My hand can't even push my knees. When do we push our knees? I think we pushed our knees when we're coming out of the standing pancake and we're going, ugh, and trying to come back up into standing. If you can't push off your legs, um, what can we do here in this position? How do you get back into standing? Hopefully, you don't need to push off your knees, and you can just go wee and come back into standing. Pushing off your knees is just a little boost when you're tired. But if you can't push off your knees, I wonder what that implies. Oh, hi, Doc. Ooh, yes. I'm being offered a computer to see some more comments. Ugh. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, really? That seems like I was at the end. Did I see that? Shiraz says, thank you, Ken. What's going on? That's crazy. I feel like the TikTok app on mobile, because I run the live video on a cell phone, and the app just looks like there's messages missing. But when I watch the when I go through the chat on a computer, I can see everything, and there's even chat missing. I feel like what? Midnight Voice says I can't do it. I'm getting ready to replace my right hip. Just watching this is agony. Oof. You don't have to torture yourself. I appreciate that you're here though. Cynthia N, I saw earlier. I tell all my clients with hip pain to do these. Nice. John Lark says, ouch. I'm going to scroll real quick and see if there is any big questions that I need to answer. Isabel says, excellent. At what time does this start? I'm in Venezuela. I hope somebody has answered that question because I have no idea what time it is in Venezuela. Although that's pretty far south. So we started this live an hour and 38 minutes ago. If you're still on, Isabella, whatever time it was, 1 hour and 38 minutes ago, that is, sorry, Isabel, not Isabella. I misread. Uh, an hour and 30 minutes ago is when we start the morning lives on the weekends. Blackacre says, you're just in time as the first exercise. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Isabel is asking if it's the same time every day because she's making breakfast. It's only on the weekends are we doing the morning lives. Most of the time we do an evening live because that's when people are home from work and have time to sit down and chill. And also I have a day job, so I am not going to be available at this time during the week. Oh, interesting. We got a comment in here that says weight in heels will make you lose balance. Trust that's what I used to do in ballet. Weight in heels will make you lose balance. It seemed like it was pretty early in the live, so I think they were talking about the hip cars. Putting weight in your heels is going to make you lose balance. All right, let me try and get it all into the forefoot. Now that I'm warmed up, these are definitely easier, but Is the alternative to rest on my not have any weight on my heels and be on my forefoot? No, the forefoot is going to be weight tired real fast. Hmm. I wonder. I wonder what that means. I'm gonna have to Google this later and find some people in ballet to go question. Asia Jess says, "Please like the live." Thank you, Asia Jess, for the support. I appreciate it. And let's see what else we got. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Leo Santana says, I need to do this more frequently. This move has me feeling like Spider Man. Awesome. Litz says, thanks, Ken. Dude, that's so cool. There's so many nice, happy things that I did not see in the chat on the phone, but is all here on the app or on the desktop version. That's crazy. I guess I need to set up a computer next to the live from now on because that's crazy. Seduce then says, thank you for this. These were great. Amazing. Oh my God, that was painful. Do what you can slowly and carefully. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. And we are back to the bottom. I think that is most of the live. I think we're done. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits and hip mobility. I appreciate you guys for showing up on this Saturday morning, and I hope you had fun. We are officially 100 minutes deep into the live, so I'm going to get ready to wrap up because my family is going to go hang out for Mother's Day. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we have another live this evening at 9 p.m. It's basically the same show if you're new to this whole shenanigans. We do this show Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. And on the weekends, it's also at 9 a.m. in the Eastern time zone. So again, we started an hour and 40 minutes ago. Usually the bulk of the stretching doesn't last an hour and 40 minutes. I've been pretty good about getting it down to about an hour and five, and then we do however much talking comes at the end, depending on questions, comments, etc., conversations that we're having about whatever move we're having. And yeah, that's our life. I hope you had fun. I hope you hit follow. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope you keep coming back because at the end of the day, the goal is to help us all practice a little bit more consistency. You don't have to show up every day. I show up every day to give us a place to come hang out, have something to rely on so that we can all do a little bit of stretching. All right. Again, you don't have to do that. If you're sore, if you're tired, if you're not feeling good, you're sick, you don't have to keep coming in every single day. But what we do care about is that we're practicing consistency, right? And this isn't just about side splits. This isn't just about your physical training. This is about whatever it is that you care about, whatever it is that you want to get better at. Showing up, even if it's not a 100% day, even if you don't feel like it, even if you can only give 20%, that is very important because you showing up every day is, you know, little proof bits to yourself that you can do whatever it is that you want to be doing, even if it's hard, even if you don't want to, even if, on any given day you don't want to be doing it, but it's like, the big picture thing you want to be able to do. Those are really important for your self confidence, self image, self understanding, self belief about yourself. And that sounds a little bit woo woo and whatever, but it matters. So that's what the show is for. It's here to help us build consistency. It's here to help us do the hard things. And if you like that, hit follow, hit subscribe. And if you got other, you know, cool habit building, productivity, consistency type things you would love us to talk about somehow, somewhere, let me know. I would love to talk about it. Cool. All right. Welsh Boys UK says, smash that like button, peeps. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I'm closing out. Oh, one last question over here. AMZXAR asks, are you from Malaysia? I am not. I am American. All right. That is our live. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the chat one last time and see if there's anything else that popped in. Oh, there is. Alex says, one for YouTube, one for TikTok. Oh, Soup asks, why do you have two kinds of earphones in? Yes, uh, I have two phones running because I have two lives running. I have one that's TikTok right here and one that's YouTube right here, side by side. And I started this because I was traveling, so I would just take my girlfriend's phone and my phone, and we would do the live simultaneously. Now that I'm home, I could technically set up a more elaborate, fancy setup, but I just don't want to. It's a lot of work. So the earbuds are because they are recording the audio for the shows. One earbud is on TikTok, one earbud is on YouTube, or one earbud is connected to each phone. And that is how I get better audio. At various other points, I had different microphones that were designed to be microphones. And for some reason, the YouTube app doesn't like it when I use my DJI mic mini thing anymore. And so it's back to earbuds. The Apple EarPods audio is a bit better than whatever this brand is, and that's why I did the upgrade. And at some point, that upgrade stopped working. It'll still record video, like the microphone works. I use it as the primary microphone for all the other stuff that I record, but for some reason, it just doesn't work very well with YouTube Live, and the audio will just not exist. It'll be like nothing's plugged in, even though all the lights are on, and if I switch apps, it will record audio from the microphone. So that's why we're back to two earbuds that don't match because it's two different phones that are recording audio at the same time. Alex, thank you for explaining. And that, I think, is everything. Oh, Alex says puppy. Holy smokes. He's not a puppy. He's like 10, but he's cute. Yes, he's puppy-like in his behavior sometimes. He's confused because usually I run the shows in the evening, and he knows now that in those moments, nothing's gonna happen. He can try to bother me, but I'm gonna ignore him. But he's confused about what I'm doing right now because it's daytime. He's like, "What the heck is happening? Are we going to go play now? What are you doing?" And yeah, that's it. It's time to go hang out with my animals and my peoples. I will see you guys in a little bit. The next live is in 10 hours and 13 minutes, I think. So see you then. Bye bye. Hit follow. Hit subscribe.